All right, so sitting down 960 bucks today. Not so good. I was never green today. This was one of those days where I just started red, tried to climb back, and I actually never made it up past the low of my first trade. So my first trade was on EDBL. It was right here. EDBL is just it's a continuation move, and it felt like I had drawn this trend line here, and you see that the stock actually did respect it. So when it respected that trend line, I thought we could get this continuation at least up to 7, and I got in with 4,000 shares. I took a little bit too much size there on my first trade, and lost almost 10 cents. So I was down 300 to start the day. EDBL was difficult yesterday, and it made this big move after hours and pre-market, but you know, it was never easy to trade it. So it's one of those ones that fit some of the criteria but didn't fit all of it, and honestly I was probably just too jumpy to try that out. Then QIPT popped up. QIPT had a headline at 7:30, which shot the stock up from 210 all the way up to 290. Not a bad move, but it's in the medical sort of field. This is the problem. Okay, so you got to read a little bit when the headline pops up. It's a non-binding agreement to acquire the company. So first of all, it's not a for sure thing. It's not on pen and paper, and it's this right here. So where they're obtaining the stock, possibly obtaining the company at $3.10 per share. So the stock was never going to go past $3.10. In the moment, what I saw was that it was holding the 200-day. So I got in just above the 200-day and actually got a green trade on it. Barely got out, but gave it all back. I'm red on 4 out of 5 stocks today. So that was QIPT. The next one was RILY, which I liked. RILY made this move here on the breaking news today at 8 a.m. that private bond exchange to reduce debt by approximately 46 million. So overly optimistic me sees the 46 million. Looking at it now in hindsight, they're reducing their debt. So does that mean the company's doing well? Maybe not. So it's a company not doing well that will potentially do a little bit less badly. I got in here for this 1 minute flag pattern and actually made money on that, and then break even on the second trade. And this is the one stock I'm actually green on, 80 bucks. I was being a little cautious today. I was not taking any size. Thank goodness. Or this might have been worse. So ASST popped up next at 8:15. Did I do that out of order? No. Okay. RILY was at 8:04. This one's at 8:15. So ASST didn't have news, but it did have this daily flag pattern. So it basically had shot up on this day, May 7th. Took a week and a half to pull back, but not completely collapse. And then as it got to the high here, it gapped up. So it shot up. I liked that it was holding the high. So this is this line right here, this 892 line. It was holding the high, and it was trying to push back up. I could have. This is the one I really feel like I missed it because I was in and out and in and out. I was a little premature on this pullback. I wanted a micro pullback. I didn't want the full 1 minute. Didn't want to wait for the full 1 minute flag. So definitely some FOMO. I kept trying to get the dip, but it just wouldn't push. It wouldn't push. On this candle, it slammed down kind of hard, but it didn't break 9, so there must have been a lot of buyers there. Then it shot up a little bit too fast for me to catch on. It was already extended by the time I looked at it. I think, did I get any part of this 815? No. So my first trade on this push, I think I made a little bit as it surged up into this candle, but I'm so jumpy, I take profit right off the bat. Then I get in, it's a little too high. I'm looking for it to hit 10. It chops me out. I get in again, it chops me out. Get in again, it chops me out. I did make some money on this little failed flag pattern here, but it's a false breakout. Maybe because this didn't have fresh news. Maybe that's why it was choppy. There were a lot of sellers. But I wanted this flat. I kept saying this is a flat top breakout. But it didn't happen here. It happened all the way down here after I had chopped myself to death. So I'm down the worst on ASST, even though it was probably the best mover, $380. I think the market is cooling off, and I think that I'm getting too jumpy. So I feel like maybe I should take a break for the rest of the week. Tomorrow's Thursday, which makes it kind of complicated. If tomorrow was Friday, I would definitely take tomorrow off. But since tomorrow's Thursday, we might be able to see a little bit of action. What I've been thinking is I will come in tomorrow, try to get a small green day so that going into the weekend, it'll kind of feel like the momentum is coming back a little bit in my P&L. If I was kind of making small gains over the last few days, even though the market was slow, I'm making small gains, I would definitely come in and try to keep that green streak going. But this is a pretty significant drawdown. I'm up for the challenge, though. I in this sim challenge, I feel like when I have these drawdowns, this is the moment. This is where where I can prove that I can make it. So when things are going good, it's good and it's easy. Things like this are what make or break a consistent trader. So if I want to prove consistency, I have to come back from this. So it gives me a chance to do that. So what I'm going to do is I am going to come in tomorrow. I'm going to try to get a small green day. My share size is already reduced, so I can't really reduce it anymore. I was already today on Trader Rehab. Just kind of sat around too long on a day that was clearly not happening. So I'm going to continue with the same kind of guardrails tomorrow and see what happens. And if the market doesn't give me anything right off the bat, I'll just shut it down. I might play a game I call Red is Dead. So if my first trade is red, or if I'm green and then I go red, I'll just shut it off completely tomorrow. I don't want to make this a loss I can't recover from, or a loss that takes weeks to recover from. This is the kind of loss that could take up to a week to recover from. Or maybe a day or two if we have some good action. But I need to get in a good headspace. So this is the second worst drawdown, or it is the worst drawdown. So the other one I had was back in mid-April. I was down 1,700, and I was able to recover all that and move on. This one I'm down 1,800 in 3 days, and we're going into a long weekend. It's a little tricky. So tomorrow is definitely red is dead, because I think the cold market is only going to get colder unless we have one more hot day tomorrow. That's my guess. So to keep myself safe, I will come in tomorrow, but I'm going to try to get a small green day, something in the range of $200 or $300. Walk away, get the heck out. The difference between today's red day and any other red day for me was that all these other red days started green. So I had a chance. Today, I felt like I had no chance. It was just a day going down. So it's not a max loss. My max loss on this account is 5,000, because that would be 10% of the account. I would rather I think my max loss should really be 10% of the P&L. So I think my max loss really should be 2,000. So it's about half of my max loss. So I'm walking away before things get really bad, but still it doesn't feel too good. The last stock I traded was ZKIN. So I'm already in a bad mood, and ZKIN comes here and really sticks the knife in. So 8:30, it has news. Unique financing strategy, public market gateway for crypto's viral movement. Crypto's viral movement was last week. That's not really today. But anyway, it popped up, and I was a little desperate. And it had a headline, and it had this flag pattern, really similar to ASST. So I thought, hey, this has a chance to at least hold the high and make a push maybe up to the next whole dollar. I got in here at 59, somewhere around there. Yeah, 59. Had to sell it as it collapsed, false breakout through that level, and sold it at 45 and 50. Whatever. It's okay. It's just that like every trade was red today. It's crazy. Red, green, red, red, small green, break even, red, red, small green, red, red. I mean, it just goes on. I had one good trade right here, ASST for what was that? ASST, that was my one decent trade today, and that was, I think, this one. Yeah, 816. Yeah. Yeah, I was in from here with only 1,000 shares. I guess I was in from here with only 1,000 shares, and I sold it as it pushed up. So, but you know, it was small size, and I took half positions to exit because I wanted it to see it push through 10. So instead of taking the whole thing at 93, I had to sell, that last position for just a small, tiny win. So that's it. So that's the game plan for tomorrow, is to just try to find the one thing I can get green on. If I can't get green, if I'm red at any moment tomorrow, it's an out. It's an instant out, because I can't go into the weekend with a big red day. You know, feel like it's something I really have to dig a hole. I have to dig myself out of starting next week. I know that things are starting to get cool off, and they're going to get even colder going into the long weekend. So I'm going to try to take it easy, and I'm optimistic because it gives me a chance to prove that I can do this. So I'm excited, and we're going to go ahead and do that. Yeah. So I'm still pretty green on the month. I'm up 9,000 on the month without commissions. I'm up 5,700 on the month with commissions. I thought I was going to have a much bigger month than I did in April, which was 10,000 without commissions and 8,200 with commissions. But it looks like we're going to have a similar or slightly less green month. But there is one more week, so let's not come to any conclusions, and let's just see what happens. So thanks for watching another recap. Bye-bye.